are you guys doing today? I will. I'll never stop saying I never will. I want to talk about travel today and like all the cliches that come with it. I know you've heard all of those, like, you know, travel is the only expense that'll make you richer, or something of that nature, or stuff like that. Very cliche, but travel's good for you essentially, and stuff like that. And while that seems kind of not dumb, but it's just like, well, no, I mean, it's not gonna make me wealthy richer or like money-wise, monetarily richer, but because traveling is expensive. It's really, really expensive. Even like car trips and you stay at a friend's, you're still gonna spend a ton of money on gas and food and, you know, stuff like that. But I mean, that's easily over like $100, $200 right there. But I do agree with the sense that it makes you a better person, in that you are getting more experiences, you're experiencing another culture, you're seeing different points of view and stuff, and it's really important, I think, to get out and travel, even if you can't do it very often, or it is just road trips and stuff like that, because I feel like if I hadn't traveled as much as I had, I wouldn't be as understanding, that's for sure. I would be very ignorant in that I wouldn't have the viewpoints of like other people and stuff like that. Like, trying to think of what I'm trying to say. Not ignorant in that I'd be a horrible person, like, but just kind of think more from my own perspective rather than being, well, in this country this person lives like this, or, you know, they do this. I would like to think I wouldn't be like the stereotype loud American who speaks slowly in another country, but I feel like if I might be a little bit closer to that if I didn't travel, if I didn't make an effort to learn at least a little bit of the language, like please and thank you, hello, and stuff like that, of wherever I was going. And even going to other states, even within the South, each state has its own kind of different culture going on. I mean, the South kind of is all in one. Like, despite the past week of things Georgia's bullshit's doing now, it's been all over the news, you know what I'm talking about. And I think you can tell my stance on it. Georgia does see itself superior to the rest of the South, and I think it's like that in all the other southern states too. I think they think they're the most southern or best out of the southern states. But definitely, like, when I've gone to Mississippi and Alabama, I'm just like, this is just Georgia extended. That's all it is. And I think Virginia probably feels that way too. I know I've had friends from Virginia. They're like, yeah, we're in the South. It's like, nah, you get snow. You're not from the South. But, like, you go up north, you know, down here, and I wonder how it is on people raised on the West Coast, how they're told about the North, like New York and stuff, because down here, and I'm sure it stems from the Civil War because Southerners can't let anything go, you're told, like, New York City's full of trash, and they're just incredibly rude people up there. I'm like, they're incredibly busy people up there. They don't have time for you to be waddling down the street like you're a 2-year-old and you don't know what you're doing. But if you pull over to the side, out of the way, they have large sidewalks. There's plenty of space for you to pull over, move out of the way of traffic. Nobody's gonna mind you any business. I've been to New York a few times now because I have friends who live up there. I'm not just like staying at some fancy hotel or anything. I wouldn't be able to without my friends, but I never met a single rude person up there. And I'm not saying there aren't rude people, but there are rude people everywhere. But it's not like how it's perpetrated. So traveling really helps break those stereotypes, and which is really, really important, because well, you can self-educate, which is really important, you know, Google things, talk to other people on the internet and stuff. It's a lot different experiencing it in person. And then you can come back to people and be like, well, actually, I've been there. So, even though that's kind of dickish too, but it's fine. But, and like traveling in the Northwest, I was kind of like, how are things different? Exactly, because I don't know much about the Northwest, I won't lie. And it's much more, and we talked about this in the Northwest versus Southeast video, me and my sister, but a lot more chill, like, yeah, like we said, a lot more chill, a lot more nature-based, you know, not everything's go, 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 which, like, the Northeast is, well, in New York City specifically. New Jersey is I feel like New Jersey is actually a bit closer to Washington in that it's really chill, kind of chill, depending on where you're at in New Jersey, and I'm sure it's the same in Washington. But, yeah. And then you just have a lot of uptight people down here that gotta have an opinion about everything, even if there's no reason for them to. Yeah, but I think you just, when you see different things, different cultures, even within your own country, and even in your own state, like if you go to Atlanta, it's very business, it has some sort of nightlife, you know, it's very fast paced, not New York fast, but close. And then you go to like Savannah, which is one of our other big cities, and it's much more like a vacation kind of town. I mean, it is 30 minutes like right outside the beach. I haven't been to New Orleans, but I know it's been compared to New Orleans. So if you've been to New Orleans, kind of like that. It's a very historic town. It was the first town in Georgia. So, and it still has a lot of the historic buildings and stuff like that. It's much more of a touristy place. And Atlanta has its tourist spots, but it's mostly downtown with the Coca-Cola Museum and the aquarium and stuff like that. And then you have Savannah, which has like that center part, but then you have like you have that touristy center part, and then you go into real Savannah, and it's like any other town. And you can kind of say that about Atlanta, but each like borough of Atlanta, each sub area also has like its own kind of busy characteristic of it. While you go out of Savannah, it feels like any other town in Georgia, like Macon, or just, you know, regular people living their regular lives, nothing fancy. Like once you get to the Target and the mall, it's like any other place. So it's just interesting to see the juxtaposition of places that you're not going to see if you're just staying in your hometown or stay to wherever you've moved, and you learn how to talk to people. And it's just like, I mean, obviously you don't like just go in insulting and be like, well, I was told them their northerners were rude asses. You go in and do that, you're gonna get some fucking looks. Like, God, when I've traveled out of the country a few times, and you'll hear those loud Americans, and you're just like, shut the fuck up. You're embarrassing everyone who has ever called themselves an American. Like, just stop. They're looking at you like you're stupid, you sound stupid, and it's like, you're not even trying. Like, you have a phone, like, you're doing this shit to be obnoxious. You know damn well that if you just speak English as you normally fucking do, there's not gonna be a whole lot of hang-ups. You're just being a jackass. But I think, and I don't mean like, when I say travel, I don't just mean like going to do the touristy things, because those are primarily aimed at, which there's nothing wrong with. They tend to be fun. A lot of times they're overpriced, so, you know, pick and choose wisely what experience you want to have with your money and what's best for the value. But if you like veer off the beaten path and go to a home-owned little shop or a small little restaurant or something like that, and you're actually sitting with locals and you just get the surroundings, you see how people, that way you see how people live day to day, and you start to realize that while there's all these surface differences, people as a whole aren't that different. We talk about our days and how they went. People tell jokes or funny stories. You'll hear laughing, you'll hear gasp and sighs, and you're like, or like, stuff like that. I mean, like, you're really telling me the story again. You see a lot more of the human nature and character that I really think only you can see through traveling, as truly see it as in through traveling, and just you kind of realize your mind opens up a bit more and being like, these people aren't much more different than I am. They're not. I mean, my friends go out to dinner and we talk and we laugh, or we'll go shopping in little shops, and the customer service, a shop owner or associate be like, can I help you with anything? Let me know. Stuff like that. Nothing significantly different. And a lot of that does come out of like colonialism, but because England tried to make everything else England, by whatever means they could come across. So that's why I think I would contribute some of our similarities, but at the same time, I think it's just, humans being humans, we socialize, we talk, we don't have to. The stereotypes, I really feel, are there to discourage people, even if they don't exist. Just to be mean and nasty for no reason, and then you go and you find out these stereotypes aren't even remotely true. You really kind of, not only does it open your mind to that, but it opens your mind to what's going on in your own community, being like, okay, what are the stereotypes I hear about people at home or hear about my town? Are those true? Do I want those perpetrated? And I think it can help you help your community too, by looking outwards and traveling, and then bringing what you've learned and found out back home, and just making everything a better place. I feel like I won't go as far as saying like it makes the world a better place if you travel, but maybe it does. It makes the world seem a lot less smaller and intimidating and terrifying when there's somebody on the other side of the world who lives their life pretty similar to yours, and they're fine and they're good and they're happy and stuff like that. So it's just, despite it being expensive, because it is, you should definitely try to go somewhere, even if it's the big city in your town, or the next state over, or something like that. If you can manage it, you should definitely go and travel. I would suggest like maybe something big once a year, and I don't even mean out of the country. Like if that big thing is going to the big city in your town, then save up for it and go and do that, and then spend like a whole week in there, a whole week, or even if it's just a day, if that's all you can manage. Just get as much of that culture and local stuff as possible, because you're going to learn a lot, and you're also going to learn a lot about yourself and how you handle yourself in different experiences, and what you take out of traveling and stuff like that. And or even if just to go to try good new food that you never thought you would tasted and you would taste or eat, and just have your mind blown by how good something so simple can be. I went to Brazil last summer. The food was amazing, and most of it wasn't very intricate or anything like that. Like we ate a lot of fruit, and the fruit was better than any other fruit I've had in America. Like hands down, nothing has beat it yet. And just have your mind blown by something simple like that. I mean, if you want to keep interactions with people to a minimum, at least try the food. Go see a movie in another language there, and how the crowd reacts to it. If like, say, I'd love to see Avengers Endgame in another country and see their reactions. If It's been 3 weeks, so this is a minor spoiler. There's a scene where Ant-Man is talking about Captain America's ass, and he's like, that's America's ass as far as I'm concerned. And see how other countries laugh to or react to something like that, because I know here we like laughed our asses off when it said that, and that was said. So it's interesting to see that kind of thing. Go to their shopping mall, you know, like you would go to one of ours, and see how that is and stuff like that. You don't have to do the crazy fun or crazy touristy stuff, but if you want to, go ahead, because I mean they're fun too. Just make sure nobody's trying to rip you off. But yeah, I will say, as I'm getting older, flying and driving long distances hurts my body. That is my one like complaint about traveling, is that my body just cannot handle being cramped up in a space for so long. I know I'm small, but I've talked about how my knees don't work. And just being cramped up like that in a plane, especially when other people, like on a plane and you're in the middle seat, and they don't care about personal space, and they get all in your personal space, and you're just like, stop. I have to sit by you for the next 3 hours. Stop. And then waiting in the airport. I'm going to get to the airport and TSA and making sure you've packed everything correctly and everything you need. It's a hassle. And I used to love flying and stuff like that. Now I just want to get there and get going. And car rides are fun because you see a lot more than you do, but at the same time, and you can stop and you have more power over what you're doing. But at the same time, you're still like, I am so tired of sitting. But yeah, other than that, I don't have any complaints about traveling. It's just the traveling itself to get there is a pain in the ass. And it's 2019. We need some futuristic stuff. Some futuristic transportation or something. But yeah, I have a whole list of places that I want to go to. I really kind of want to go somewhere big for my birthday, my 30th birthday, which is a year and a half from now, like Japan or New Zealand or something like that. Probably won't happen, but maybe it will, you know, just kind of have it in the back of my mind. So I would like to go there eventually, at least some point in my life. I'd love to know like how travel has opened up your mind. I'm not really sure if I finished that thought. It was just like, I feel like it's made me a better person, a more open-minded person, more understanding, and can see where people's perspectives come from, because I know where I've come from. I know my culture. I now know what their culture expects and teaches them, and you know, stuff like that. And it helps me understand and be able to interact with people more easily and stuff like that. Even if there's a language barrier, I feel like there's just a better overall understanding there, and it's kind of teach me how to do that and get and quick decision making. When you got to make some quick decisions when it comes to traveling too, so I think that helps a lot. So that's two things. Where is like the dream place you want to go to? Like the place you want to go to before you die, and why? And also, what has traveling done for you, or what would you like to get out of traveling as well? That's actually 4 questions, but it doesn't matter. All right, you guys. I love you. I will see you guys later, and make sure you like and subscribe and all that good stuff. Bye, you guys.